Hey guys, this is Danny Boy. This time around we have the Shuriken SMG. The Shuriken is pretty much your just average SMG. You get it very early in the game. Very low weight, good capacity, good fire rate, though it is burst fire, so I feel like that fire rate is kind of misleading. It has low damage, low accuracy. So let us test it out. Reloads very quickly, and as you can see, it has nice grouping at point-blank range, either from the hip or fired down the sights. Perfectly capable of headshots. Let us move on to short range. We're already seeing an issue with our groupings, but it does look like you can still get headshots at short range, but not so good. It might be a better idea to just sort of work your way up to the head in bursts. Let's move on to mid-range. So I tried just kind of moving up, using the recoil for the sights. This is definitely beyond the realm of firing from the hip at this point, mid-range. It just doesn't work. Sights, yeah, I would probably just fire from the hip and work my way up to the head rather than just aiming for the head. Let's try just aiming for the head with the sights. And just terrible. It has vertical recoil, vertical spread, it kind of has a linear cluster, and that's really problematic for pretty much any weapon with that attribute when going for headshots, because a lot of the shots just totally miss because of the spread at any sort of real range. So let us move on to mid to long range. So at mid range, I would just aim for center mass, work my way up to the head. I wouldn't actually aim for the head with just the sights, and I wouldn't bother with the hip at that range either. And we're definitely getting pretty well beyond this weapon's maximum range. Let's try aiming lower on the torso, see if that helps. It does to an extent. I suppose it's still effective. We are making most of our shots, so I would say mid to long range you want to aim down the sights and aim low, say even for the legs, and just aim for center mass. So let us now try long range. Long range is really beyond this weapon with just the sights, for the most part. Possibly doable if you aim low, but I'm thinking a scope might help there. Let us now attach a scope. And here we go. So point blank range with a scope. Much the same as sights or firing from the hip, really not necessary. For some it might actually be detrimental because scopes are kind of annoying in point blank range. Try short range. Pretty similar to the sights really, maybe a little bit better, but not much. Headshots are still a problem because of the vertical recoil. It's doable, but kind of a problem. And at mid-range, I would still just aim low, work my way up to the head. I wouldn't really just aim for the head. You're wasting a lot of shots to misses if you do that. Mid to long. And I'm, again, really not seeing a huge difference between this and just the sights. We might be getting some tighter groupings, but it's not super substantial to the point that I would say you really should be using a scope. Even at long range, I'm not seeing a huge benefit. That was 3 bursts, so that helps, but I suppose it might help a bit at long range, but it's, again, not so much that I would say you really need to use a scope over the other mods. So this was the Shuriken. It's just your all-around average submachine gun. It's really more of a machine pistol than a submachine gun, and it in fact says that in its description. But that's kind of just arguing semantics there anyway. From the hip, I would only fire this weapon at point-blank range, and I would aim for the head. At short range, I would aim down, or with a scope, I would aim down the sights, work my way up to the head, though you can go for dedicated headshots at short range, either with the sights or with the scope. At mid-range, again, I would still go with the sights or the scope, aim for the torso, work my way up to the head. And really the same for mid to long range or long range. Really anything beyond short range, you really shouldn't be going for dedicated headshots. You should just go for center mass, aim low, even aim for the legs, and just get 3 bursts off or so, and just work your way up to the head. Alright guys, well thanks for watching, stay tuned for more SMGs, and have